Feherty, presented by Cobra.
¿Qué pasa, amigo?
Traveling sucks. I'm off on my journey to Spain to stalk Sergio Garcia. If you know anything about me, I enjoy traveling about as much as a 6-inch nail being driven through my and apparently this trip was planned by Amelia Earhart's travel agent.
Seriously?
We flew the obviously direct route from Dallas to Atlanta, Atlanta to Paris.
Bienvenue à Paris. Charles de Gaulle, it's like Miami Airport, which is a refugee camp with runways, but it's filled with French people.
As expected, our flight was delayed. Damn it. Then on to Valencia.
Valencia, home of the orange.
Where the luggage belt was about as useful as a trapdoor in a canoe, and as always, surrounded by a herd of human sheep. We still had to drive to Sergio's hometown of Boreal, which took another hour or 5. These little olive trees?
Yeah.
Finally, we found the Garcia's Country Club, where I took a quick tour with Sergio and his dad, Victor. Well, I'll tell you, Victor, the boy turned out all right. You know? Not bad.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There's room for improvement, but, you know.
Always.
Always. Yeah. While we were chatting, my crack crew set up about 9 tons of TV crap in their restaurant.
I know, it's frightening, isn't it?
With a little help from my wardrobe consultant, I finally sat down. Sergio, it seems like you've been out here forever. At 31 years old, you've played in more than 50 majors. You've played in 5 Ryder Cup sides and been an assistant captain in 1. That's the sort of record that, you know, I should be asking someone who's 70 years old, you know, and doesn't play anymore.
Well, fortunately, I'm only 31, so that's a good thing, I guess.
What stage of your delinquent juvenile career did you realize that golf was for you?
I think when I was 13 years old, and I started playing on the National Amateur Tour in Spain.
At 13?
At 13, yeah, and I was obviously playing with guys that were 25, 30, 40 years old, and best players in Spain. And I remember I won 1 tournament that year from the rankings. And
so you're beating, you know, a middle-aged man at this stage, and you're 13 years old?
Yeah.
Sergio Garcia started playing golf when he was 3 years old, an age at which I was still picking divots out of my nose. Taught by his father, Sergio became a star player almost instantly. He broke par at 8 years old, won his club championship at 12, and was the youngest player to make a cut at a European Tour event at the unripe young age of 16. He turned pro in 1999 and earned his first European Tour title in the same year at the Irish Open, a tournament that coincidentally, I never won. But the golf world met Sergio during his duel against Tiger Woods at the '99 PGA Championship at Medina. Late in the final round, Garcia hit his most famous shot. With his ball buried in the root flares of a tree in the right rough at the 16th hole, I was right there as he swung hard with his eyes shut. Sergio hit a low, burning cut that ran up onto that green. It was impossible, as was his now famous run like a kangaroo on crack afterwards. In his rookie year, Sergio became the youngest ever Ryder Cup player. His energy and intensity captivated the golf world. In 2001, Sergio won his first PGA Tour event. And after his 6th victory in 2005, he climbed into the top 5 of the official world golf rankings, which by anyone's standards is quite good.
What was it that made you so good so early?
I don't know, I just learned how to play the game the way I do. Just kind of feel everything. I think probably, obviously, Sevi and Olazábal were a big influence in my game. It's definitely helped me become the kind of player that I've become.
Well, I grew up and played with a lot of the people that you would be familiar with, and perhaps an American audience wouldn't. Guys like Jose Canizares, Manuel Pinheiro, Alfonso Pinheiro, Antonio Garrido, great Spanish players other than Sevi and Jose Maria at the time. How much of what they did gave you the confidence to feel that you could do it?
I think everything that everybody, any other Spaniard did coming up before my era, really helped to kind of lose, not only for me, but to all the Spanish players, to kind of lose their fear and feel like they belong. Obviously, I think Sevi and Olazábal are the ones that brought it to the next level. But like you said, all those guys definitely took a huge step into not only Spanish golf, but Spanish sports.
Yeah, but they're Spaniards and they're Spaniards. We're here in Borriol, your home, if you like, and that's part of Castellón. Jose Maria is a Basque. Very different, very different. And you know, if there were the opposite ends of the sort of emotional scale, you know, he's kind of at this end and you're at the other. You know, we know when you're excited, and he's kind of like on the level. Sevi was from Santander. We got Miguel Ángel Jiménez from Andalusia, and these are very different regions, and people have different personalities.
Definitely, very, very different. Like you say, you guys from Andalusia, like Miguel, which are very kind of jokey, very funny guys that you need to be a little bit careful of. Yeah, sometimes. Then obviously you have the guys from the north, like Sevi and Olazábal. They're both from the north, but the Basque, like Olazábal was, they're hard. You know, they have like a very thick skin.
Yeah.
But if you manage to get through that skin and you get them going, they can be rough. But at the same time, you know, I mean, Olazábal is one of the nicest guys you can meet.
Absolutely. But your skin is not so thick, you know, but you have that heart that wants to jump out of your chest at times.
Yeah, I think because my skin is much thinner, that's why the heart wants to jump out, and there's not much to prevent that. But I don't know. I guess that's the way I've always been. Ever since I was little, I always get excited about everything I do, and you know, I can't help it.
You're young, you're good looking. How have you managed not to screw things up? Do you regret any of those things? Sergio's raw talent, his intelligence, and his passion for golf threw him into the limelight faster than a Kardashian wedding. But then, just like a Kardashian marriage, things got complicated.
When you're a teenager and you're going toe-to-toe against one of golf's greatest players in a major championship, you're going to get noticed.
Great play, man. Great play. Great play.
The combination of young and famous can sometimes be like mixing gas with fire.
If Tiger Woods would have been out there, I think it would have been called.
Hit the ball! It's a shame that the fans were that way to Sergio, even though he made a mistake yesterday in what he did.
When he first hit the limelight, people were asking, how many majors will Sergio win? And now, after more than a decade of competing at golf's highest level, they're now asking, will Sergio ever win a major? I think so. He went on to lose both the 2007 Open Championship and then the 2008 PGA Championship in heartbreaking fashion to Padraig Harrington.
Oh! He's done it!
And again, he couldn't hide his heart when times were tough inside the ropes.
You played in more than 50 majors. In a third of them, you finished in the top 10. You finished second 3 times. To me, it's almost like you're the European version of a Phil Mickelson or a Greg Norman, you know, until you make that breakthrough. Some of them have been, you know, where you should have won and you know that you should have won, and some of them you've kind of had them stolen, where it could have worked out another way. What I'm interested in is, I always feel, because I've known you since you were a kid, that it would have been wonderful if there'd been a half hour between, you know, when you finished and when you did the press conference. Because some of the things, you know, that you've said, I would like to have said instead.
It's funny how some guys hit the pin and go in or go to a foot. Mine hit the pin and hits the pin and goes 20 feet away. You know what's the saddest thing about it? It's not the first time. It's not the first time, unfortunately.
Do you regret any of those things?
It's hard to say, David. I think that I wouldn't say regret. Obviously, you do say some things that you feel at that moment, and
see, that's the key. Yes, it is what you feel.
Yeah, and
you're too honest.
Well, that's but that's the way I've always been, and yeah, that's probably got me into trouble sometimes.
You were 3 ahead of him going into the 10th hole. Are you thinking at all you're going to get your first major?
Next question, please.
I've always tried to be as honest as possible, and I want people to like me because of the way I am, not because of trying to be perfect.
Sergio, some of your fellow competitors have said it's a tough course, but it's almost unfair. Your thoughts on that?
It is a tough course.
But is it unfair?
Did I say that? It's a tough course. It's really tough.
Half an hour, you think about it and you say, what have I said, you know? I mean, obviously, I'm thinking that's what I should say because that's what I'm feeling at that moment, but it's probably not the best thing to say.
What would you say about Patty's last month, Sergio? Just about the last
Great.
month.
I have no regrets of anything I did out there.
You know, I wear my heart on my sleeve, and sometimes I probably say
not on your sleeve. It's lying bleeding on the ground at times. You know.
As long as I pick it up, it's fine.
Oh my, does not like that at all.
Oh, come on, you!
You're either spiraling up or spiraling down, and right now, everything's down.
And again, he couldn't hide his heart when times were tough inside the ropes. And when things got tough outside the ropes, he met those problems head on as well.
I think there's a period in your career that a lot of people don't remember. You were 22, playing the US Open at Bethpage, and it was when you couldn't get your hands set on the club and you were re-gripping. That's one of those things that people don't understand. It's a very serious problem that has ended players' careers. And we had the crowd at Bethpage, of course, New Yorkers, counting 1, 2, 3.
Sergio, let him play through!
And they don't care whether you get upset or not.
All of that for this?
They can really cheer you on, or they can kind of push you down. I guess that's the beauty of the New York crowds, you know.
Yeah, oh, they are beautiful. You date someone like Greg Norman's daughter. Did she break your heart?
Tanto te quiero que si tu amor no se brilla a mí
very nice to win with my mom. It was just a great feeling to be able to hug her there on the back of the 18th hole.
It's for 8 under 63.
Few people know how important family is to Sergio Garcia. Throughout his career, Sergio's family has been right by his side. And from the moment El Niño stepped out of his diapers, his father Victor Garcia has been his only swing coach.
We're here at the Club de Campo in Boreal, where you grew up. At what age did you leave home?
I left home when I was 38.
That's 7 years from now.
No, I actually I lived with my parents for a while. I mean, I obviously live in
But that's a
Switzerland
Spanish
now.
thing. You know, kids do stay with their parents longer here in Spain.
Yeah, quite a bit. But no, I probably left when I was probably about 27, 28.
When your dad's a golf pro and when he's your teacher and you're living at home, you know, people don't bring their work home. Did you and your dad talk about your game at home all the time?
There was one turning point where my relationship with my dad turned from good to great. And that was when we kind of quit talking golf at home.
Really?
Yeah. And it was hard because at some point it was hard to see where my dad started and my coach finished. And when you have both, obviously you say some things that maybe you're saying to your coach that you wouldn't say to your dad.
Right, yeah.
So unfortunately there were some fights there that happened at some point. But fortunately there was a point where we found out the difference. And that's really when our relationship that was already good turned into a really great father-son relationship.
Who was it that found out the difference, or who was it that made, you know, that observation first?
Well, I think we both did. I probably was the one to take the step forward, but I think we both did because, like I said, I would say some things that I was saying to my coach, but obviously because it's my dad and we're at home, he wouldn't take them as my coach. He would take them as my dad, and then, you know, there'll be some sad moments. But you know, I guess it happens in every family.
Yeah, and I remember walking with your dad on many occasions because you're one of the few players that I used to watch. You had that enthusiasm and that I really enjoyed, and I'd be, you know, just talking with your dad, and he was there a lot, you know, especially early on in your career. You know, he'd watch you play and he'd be around.
Yeah, he was. He's always been around. Obviously, the last probably 6 or 7 years, he's been a little less. When I turned pro and I settled into the tour and stuff, I knew how much he loved playing golf. Well, he still does, and I wanted him to try to play a little bit more, like play on the European Senior Tour and stuff. He played some tournaments on the Champions Tour, so I kind of took him out of giving lessons at the club. He still is the head pro, but he doesn't really give lessons, and I just took him as my own coach, and that way he could also go and play some tournaments and do what he's always wanted to do his whole life. So that was I think that also helped me help him be even happier and help me feel even more proud of him.
Yeah, and when you get, it seems like south of the French border here in Europe, it seems like mothers mean more to their sons. You know, there's always mama, whether it's, I mean, Italy or Spain or whatever. It's mother is a special, and she had to miss both you and your father. You were away a lot.
Yeah, mothers are here in Spain. Like you said, in the southern part of your mothers are the pillar of the family.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about that, and there's no different at home. My mom is the one that wears the pants.
Yes,
but yeah, she obviously did. The good thing is she had my brother and my sister too. So, but there were obviously times when she would miss it a bit. We'll be out traveling and playing and stuff. But she was always very strong, and she's always, she's very strong.
You're young, you're good looking, you've made a lot of money. How have you managed not to screw things up? Well, you know, Tiger obviously hasn't been able to avoid that kind of thing. What kind of a relationship have you had with him over the years? Yeah, there's something about the musty stem way as they do in America, where beer commercials, beautiful women floating in swimming pools, and you know, you're young, you're good looking, you know, you've made a lot of money. How have you managed not to screw things up, I guess is the question. Because a lot of them do. I mean, Rafael Nadal has managed to do it, Pau Gasol. They have more of a tabloid profile.
I don't know, I don't really consider myself that way, I guess. I mean, I don't think I'm that good looking.
Your mama thinks you're a good boy.
Well, of course, every mother thinks his boy is great. No, but I've never been, you know, I've never been really in the tabloids by myself.
Yeah.
Only with a couple of my girlfriends.
That doesn't make you a bad person.
No, so no, it's never. I've never enjoyed it anyway. So I've never tried to be in those things. So I guess a lot of it probably, like we've talked before, is probably because of my parents, the way they brought me, and you know, I'm just try to be happy with what I have and try to live with it, and you know, make everybody around me as happy as possible.
Well, you know, Tiger obviously hasn't been able to avoid that kind of thing. What kind of a relationship have you had with him over the years?
Unfortunately, it hasn't been the kind of relationship that I would have liked. But I think mainly because he's not the kind of person that really opens up too much.
He's difficult to get, well, he's very difficult to get close to.
Yeah. I mean, when I came out, we did, my early years, we did have a pretty good relationship. We went for dinners together with friends and stuff. But everything seemed to kind of go away in some way. I don't know. I'm not saying that I would love to be closer and stuff, and I've tried to challenge him in tennis and stuff like that, but he always seems to back off from it.
Oh, really? Yeah. Is it partly due to the fact you think that you've remained touchable in a way, you know, that he no longer is? I mean, you're more accessible to the everyday person. You know, you seem a lot more human, I think, at times. Is it difficult for him to associate with people like that because it puts him in the same place?
It's not for me to answer that. I think he should be the one answering that. But I try to be, like we talked about, I try to be myself, and I try to respect people as much as possible. I think at the end of the day, even though we have something special, like I have something special in golf, he obviously does too. And Rafa, for example, has something special in tennis, and footballers have or football players or whatever. At the end of the day, we're all people. We're all the same. And because you have something special in what you do, you shouldn't feel like you're much better than the one right next to you. Unfortunately, sometimes we forget about that. I'm not saying him, myself too. No, we all do.
Everybody from time to time.
If we all thought that way, probably the world will be a much better place itself.
Yeah. You date someone like Greg Norman's daughter. Did she break your heart?
The Spanish people are passionate about everything. Their food, their roundabouts, that's turning circles, and I think there's about 1,200 of them every square kilometre. Their love, their music, and their dancing. This flamenco dancing doesn't look so hard. What could possibly go wrong?
Wow! Flamenco, sí?
Sí.
¿Me puede enseñar?
Sí.
Really? The Irish don't dance. That was invented by the English. They shoved a potato up our ass and we had to get it out without moving our hands.
Eso es.
No, that's Scottish. I got this bit. Aye, passion indeed. It's everything here in Spain. And for Sergio especially. He doesn't do anything halfway. He plays with all of his heart and he loves with it the same way. And he says the first time he had ever fallen in love in his life was with Greg Norman's beautiful daughter Morgan. Morgan lifted Sergio higher than any tournament victory. But in March of 2009, she ended their relationship. And Sergio's game and his spirit plummeted to depths that he had never known. It's difficult for you to have a private life, especially when you date someone like Greg Norman's daughter. Did she break your heart?
Not the whole heart, but there was definitely a little piece that...
It was sore for a long time.
It was, and obviously you could see it. I don't have to tell you. You could see it. You could see it on, not only on my game, but you could see it when I was on the course that I wasn't there. All these things make you a better person, make you a stronger person, and if you take the positives out of it, I don't regret anything that went through my life, and I don't regret having the relationship with Morgan. Even though the breakup was hard, it still made me a better person and a stronger person, and it's probably helped me become better.
Well, I think so too, because for one thing, it got you a whole lot closer to Greg Norman, which is never a bad thing for anybody who wants to play golf for a living.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah, we had a good time. I mean, we still, we've always had a good relationship, Greg and I, even before I met Morgan.
I know, I mean, he's very fond of you.
Yeah, I saw him this year at the PGA. He gave me a big hug and asked me how I was doing, and he told me how much better I looked, that it looked like I knew where I was going again, and he was very happy to see that. So, you know, he's a good man.
He's a Sergio fan.
Thanks.
There's a different atmosphere here at the Club de Golf Mediterráneo, your home club, than there was where I grew up at Bangor Golf Club. They used to throw me off the practice ground for practicing. And I sense that, you know, this is very, very people-friendly, kid-friendly. It must have been great growing up here.
Yes, it definitely was. They always try to encourage us as much as they can and make sure that you know, we do what we enjoy, which is either playing golf or tennis or whatever. So it definitely was a great club to grow up in.
It seems like there's a big difference in the atmosphere to most American country clubs. It's a small village. It seems like this is a sort of a community center almost. Anybody can come here.
Yeah, pretty much. You don't need to be a member to come and play. You can play your greens fee and play, or if you want to come for lunch or something, reserve your spot, and you know, it's no problem.
And you can play tennis too, I believe?
Yeah, definitely.
I think we're going to have to.
You fancy that?
Not really. What was it like the first time you played with Sevi? I remember the first time I played with him. It was pretty intimidating. I've got to warn you, I played a little tennis in my time. What would you consider to be a full career?
I don't regret saying it because it is who I am.
What you feel is the truth.
I mean, I obviously.
No, I actually have a few questions for you.
Perdón, es que está cerrado el. Venga.
Is that your masseur?
Is he gonna do the whole question again? Because Jesus, come on.
No.
I might fall asleep here with that question again.
not sure about this.
What do you mean? It's going to be great.
Well, you know, you said you played tennis and one of your best pals is Nadal. I mean, I got to warn you, I played a little tennis in my time.
Let's see what you got.
Yeah. That was in.
Just long.
Was it?
Just long, yeah.
Is this a short court? Oh, jeez. Turd.
You ready for more pace?
What do you mean more pace?
Oh! I can promise you I was aiming at the left one.
Got them both. Oh, it's paella.
Whoa, go, 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 go. Come on.
The greatest player ever to come out of Spain was the legendary Ryder Cup captain Seve Ballesteros.
The flags are flying at half-mast here at the Spanish Open. Severiano Ballesteros finally lost his fight against cancer.
Before succumbing to a brain tumour last year, Seve's passion for winning inspired every young golfer on the Iberian Peninsula, and for that matter, around the world. He was a hero, mentor and friend to Sergio.
What was it like the first time you played with Seve? I remember the first time I played with him, and it was pretty intimidating.
It was awesome. I remember it was '95, Spanish Open in Club de Campo Villa Madrid.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. I mean, to be 15 years old and playing with Seve, which was one of my idols. And it was thanks to my dad. Obviously, he knew him. They both started as caddies in the early days, and they got to know each other. So he set it up for me, and ever since that day we built a relationship.
I wonder just when that brain tumor took hold, because his behavior was, it was out of character for him for such a long time. Yeah,
Funny enough, I remember talking, when we found out about the tumor, I remember talking to Billy Foster,
yes,
who obviously caddied for him a lot, and he mentioned to us, he said, funny enough, I remember a lot of times, like in big events and when he'll be in contention after Sunday, or after winning a tournament, like for Monday, Tuesday, he'll have huge headaches. And everybody thought, it's probably just the pressure of the tournament and stuff. So I guess that probably was already starting to make its effect, I guess.
I probably played with Seve, I don't know, a couple of dozen times over my career. Not that often, but each time I did, I always had the feeling that he could change the weather with his face, with his mood. One minute he was purple with rage, and the next hole the smile would break out and the sun would split the clouds. And he had that animal kind of like a feline grace, almost in a strength that was unimaginable to me. And I've seen that in you as well. Especially at moments like in Medina when you hit that extraordinary shot from behind the tree at 16 and take off up the fairway like a cheetah.
Yeah, I guess you could say that that's a little bit of the Spanish blood. I guess it runs within us.
One of the things you have in common was the Ryder Cup. It did something special to him. And I think it does something special to you, for different reasons probably, but what is it about the Ryder Cup that puts a tilt in your kilt?
I've always said it, I just love, it's not only the playing it, I love the feel you get, how you get to know people, and really get to know the people behind the players.
Yeah, and you really get to know a player when you partner up with them in a Ryder Cup. You get to know so much more about them. I've
made good friends at Ryder Cups from people that didn't know that well, and I particularly maybe didn't like them as much. But then after the Ryder Cup, I mean, obviously, Luke and I were good friends, but we were already good friends before the Ryder Cup. But I made a great relationship with Lee Westwood.
Yeah.
Thanks to the Ryder Cup.
There's a bond there. That's you can't compare it to being in combat.
It's just very hard to explain.
It's intangible, but you can see it in your difference in body language. It's such a severe examination of your character and your strength and your courage and your grace under fire, if you like. I mean, because there's no pressure like that, I don't believe. Not even in major championships when you're on your own.
It's a different kind of pressure, I guess you may say, but it's definitely very, very special.
You're the president of the soccer team. I used to play a little myself.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I've got to protect the boys here.
There's an obvious goal. You want to win a major. What would you consider to be a full career?
Sergio Garcia may have been born in a small village, but his dreams were always bigger than a golf ball. In fact, they were at least the size of a football.
I love all sports, but as a Spaniard, football is one of the biggest.
As a little Nino, he dreamed of playing for Boreal, the team right behind me here. As it turned out, his contribution was considerably more significant. A few years ago, this club was on the verge of folding. They were out of money. But Sergio stepped in, raised the money required, became president of the club, and since then, the team has raised itself 4 divisions. These guys are good. And what's more, the president, he's on the pitch playing with them.
It was a way for me to stay with the game, having the chance of even playing a little bit, and giving something back to my village.
So you're kind of good at this as well?
Well,
we'll see about that, because I used to play a little myself.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I held my own as custodian of the goal against Rory. What's a few more players? Bring it on.
Oh, 1 minute.
I've got to protect the boys here.
Right. Preparados, listos, dale!
Get now! There's an obvious goal. You know, you want to win a major, or 12. You've got a lot of time. You're 31 years old. But what would you consider to be a full career?
I've never been like a record kind of guy. Even when I won the Castellón Masters, and they told me when I finished, you know, you've just shot the record for lowest score on the European Tour history. I didn't know. I don't try to say, you know, I want to win 60 tournaments by the time I'm done and 12 majors and this and that. No, I just try to enjoy what I do and try to do it the best way possible. If I come out of the course giving it my all and knowing that I've did my best, if I win, it's great, very happy. If I don't, still fine. I'm still happy because I've given it my all. So I'm not going to say, you know, I hope that you know, next year I win 2 tournaments and a major. No, you know, I'm going to go there. I'm going to try to play the best I can on every single tournament. If that comes down in winning 5 tournaments and a major, great. If it comes down in winning 2 tournaments and no majors, great. And if it comes down in winning nothing, great. I'll just keep working on it.
So, Sergio Garcia is happy right now and probably going to stay that way?
Yeah, that's the main goal.
Well, you make a lot of other people happy watching you play golf, that's for sure, and have done for 13 years already. We look forward to a lot more. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you,
Thanks
David.
a lot.
There's an old Spanish proverb that says, a wise man changes his mind, a fool never. So, what do you think of Sergio Garcia now? We all know that his heart sometimes kidnaps his mouth, and he blurts out exactly how he feels. But is it better to allow your heart to take over and speak honestly, or to lock it in an iron safe and hide your feelings and faults from the outside world? Being with the Garcias was an eye-opening experience for me. Dining with them, Laughing with them and feeling the warmth and essence of Spanish life through their eyes was special. Getting there was hell, but being there was heaven. My trip to Spain was a smashing success. And as usual, just a little painful. This is the life.